What is the DevOps life cycle over here? So even if we have worked or we have not worked, this is DevOps is a software development life cycle management process. So what software lifecycle management? So gathering your requirement, creating a code, deploying it to the servers, everything, whatever we are doing currently in our organization, whatever might be our job role, if we are into software platform, so then we are a part of SDLC, software development lifecycle model. So each day basis, each day we are doing some of the task repetitively. Repeatedly, we are trying to push our code. Repeatedly, we are trying to build our code. Repeatedly, we are trying to deploy our code to the environment. So those things, whatever we are working, that is a part of SDLC. And as we are working on the repetitive environment, we need some solutions so that it should be a time to market basis. We should take less time to deliver our product. So the answer is DevOps over here. Obviously, we have come up with a lot of other software lifecycle models, and now we are at the DevOps end. It manages most of the it manages all the processes that is involved in the software lifecycle management, and all are come up with a completely into a single platform by the way, by the tools and the process of the DevOps cycle. So any queries regarding this one? I guess no one is there. You are working, whatever is your platform, if you are a part of software development team or through anywhere in, it might be your DB, might be your programming or your deployment, you are part of SDLC. And you are aware of agile process, agile
Sorry?
agile
Yeah,
agile
Agile is a method. Yeah, methodologies, right? Is a software
yeah,
development methodologies.
yeah, software
Yeah.
development. So you might have working on that methodology, means scrum calls, stand up, daily
Scrum
stand
calls.
up.
Yeah, Scrum. We worked on the Scrums.
Yeah, definitely. So DevOps is a little bit ahead. Means not little bit, much ahead of this agile. It is a combination of the operation people and not the people, operation process and development process. Earlier, it was like development. It includes dev people, test people. That's it. In case of agile, means you will be developing something. Testers immediately they will test and give you the feedback that some errors are there, and developer people tries to fix all those things. So that was the part of agile methodology. So here in case of DevOps, it's like operation people or operation process will also be included. So that time operations means whatever when you want to do the deployment, everything. So the deployment side, lot of issues were there when we are not including the deployment methods or deployment process into development or testing process. So during the product delivery time, we get a setback that something is not working. We are not into the proper environment. So some errors. So that we don't want. The companies or the products which are delivered very quickly without any delays in the time and with a higher productivity, they are following this way. They are having a single team. It's not like operation will be somewhere different. So they don't work in that environment. They work like product is being developed, immediately it should be tested, immediately it should go for some deployment. It's not like the production deployment, at least tell to the UR deployment or something like that. So that combination is a DevOps process. So DevOps, how it manages, it's obviously a working process, working methodology, but it helps how who all are helping. Some tools are there, they're helping all the processes to come together, to come close and to perform as a single platform. So it's not like something is different, some operation is running different area, something development is running on different area. It's a single platform. You will feel it as a single platform area. So that's the main aim of DevOps model. Agile was only for the day one test team, and here it is for the development, testing, production, operation people, all. Whoever are working in the SDLC model, everyone will be included. And each day we are performing some iterative tasks. We are trying to push our code changes. We are trying to build our code. We are trying to release our code. Something. These are all the continuous activity. So those continuous activities we have automated. How we have automated? Some tools were already there. Some tools regularly they are creating or they are adding some plugins. They are enhancing the tool so that our process, this iterative task can be managed. Those iterative tasks we should not do it in a manual process. We should do it in an automated process so that product delivery time will be very less with a good quality product. That's our aim in case of DevOps. So that's it. So you got any idea of DevOps, means overall idea what I am talking? Ravi, Ravi, can you
Yeah,
hear
I
me?
do understand that. Yes, yes, I
Yeah.
do understand that. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the thing. Let's see.
So,
Means here for
I mean,
today.
also,
Yes.
is a testing, and I mean, there is no separate domain for the testers and developers and production and everything. So everything, all three gonna do in the dev operations. That's it.
Yes, all is a DevOps. It's a DevOps. It's nothing like
DevOps.
people. If you are very much strong in case of coding, you are not going to write obviously the Puppet thing or Ansible configuration. You have to do the coding. That's it. So, but you need to know the DevOps process or how to push the code changes. The iterative activity you are doing day-to-day basis, you need to know that tool. We all, whoever are working in the SDLC methodology, we all need to know what are the tools are present over there in the DevOps model, and we should know how to work on that one. But that does not mean developer has to start writing your configuration, or your operation people will come up and start writing program. So that's not the case. So in that way, it
Okay.
will work. Everyone should know what is DevOps and what are the tools available and what is effective for their area. They have to start using that tool. And other tools, they should have the knowledge. How deployment is happening, or if anything goes wrong, they can come up and take the charge. So that's what is the DevOps actual meaning and how they should work. All the process are being included into a single platform. So that's the main
Uh,
thing.
Sir, and one more thing, what kind of scripting we are using for this dev operations?
Scripting,
Scripting
it will
language.
be, yeah, scripting. If you have, want to use, you can use Python, Ruby. Ruby languages are using in case of Chef, and one configuration management tool is there, Chef tool. So there we are using Ruby and Python and normal Linux-based scripting. If you are asking me what kind of script we are using, we are currently using Python script along with some Linux scripts. We are not using Ruby scripts because we are not into the configuration management thing. We are into containerization, and we are using Amazon Web Services to deploy our images, application images. So we left with that one now, and we come up with the AWS services. So we are using images, and the scripts we are writing for the testing purpose, that is the Python scripts. So basically, you should have some Linux knowledge or Unix-based knowledge or basic how to write a script, not in the very depth knowledge, but you should have that kind of understanding how to write the script. And
Yes, yes,
accordingly,
I do. I do have a bit knowledge on that scripting when I'm using in the Oracle administrator. So I'm working as a
okay,
Oracle. We should log in into the Linux, right? Linux service, yeah, through Linux,
okay.
and
So
we do write some scripting. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. So that basic knowledge is required. It's not like you need to have very high-end knowledge to gain the knowledge of DevOps. It's up to you. If you want to go more ahead, dig it up more knowledge, you can go in that way. So that is different. But some knowledge of Linux or Linux scripting commands, that is pretty good for us. Anyway, and we are using Python. If you go for the automation of testing, we are using Python over there. So anyway, so those are the things. And today we are going to see, or in this workshop, we'll be seeing what is the DevOps life cycle, why we have choose DevOps, what are the processes in DevOps, what are the tools we are going to use, and some tools interfaces we'll see. So let's go with that one, and in that way we'll go. So one new guy has joined. Hi, Iman. Can you hear me? Am I audible to you, Iman? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine. So you have
Hi.
any, yeah, hi. So you have any experience regarding DevOps model, DevOps tool?
Not yet. I am currently working on an automation tool known as System Center Orchestrator with knowledge
Okay.
of PowerShell scripting and little bit of Python scripting as well.
Okay, okay, fine. So here we will see what is the DevOps lifecycle and our tools and some interfaces. What actually it is and how it's managing our complete SDLC and how it is making more productive our work, less time and higher is the productivity. That's the aim of our DevOps. So let's start. Let's begin with that one.
Okay.
Any queries? You can chat on the chat window or you can ask me. I think. So let's start. Everyone can go on mute. Anyone having any doubt, you can ask me or text me. So let's see. This is the DevOps lifecycle, and here from this slide you can see the dev and operation. All the processes, whatever are there, dev process, ops process, are being combined. So DevOps is saying, it is saying that process of development and operation. Development process means writing the code, testing the code, any error managing, if there is any error, then fix the code and give it to the operation team or give it for the deployment. So from the operation side, there is like deploy the code, diagnose, tuning of the servers, then monitoring. Once deployment is done, then monitor the environment, whether everything is properly running or not, if any feedback is there or not from your application, then give it back to your development team. So that again that development will may start or again that feedback will be taken care and some new features will be enhanced. So all these things, everything is come up to a single platform. Earlier time, it was not a single platform when we were not using DevOps. So anyway, let's see. Let's go ahead. So what is DevOps? It is latest, it's a theoretical thing. Let's understand what this theory line by line. So it's a latest trend in the software development where developers work with operations staff to ensure that software runs efficiently without any glitches. So earlier time, not earlier means it's not like 10, 20 years before. Some years back when we were saying that some people are working on PLSQL developer, Unix administrator. So those people are in the part of operation team. So whenever one software has been developed, it's their duty to deploy the software. So they are the operation team, and who has developed and tested, they are the dev team. Tester, you can separate the testing team also. So dev team has to code, test team has to test, and operation team has to deploy the changes. So here in case of DevOps, it's saying where developers works with the operation staff. That means continuously you are doing the development process is going continuously. It's not like one day development. You do the development, then you try to change something again tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So each day you are doing some changes. So your changes should go to the deployment environment also. So why we need this? Why we need this? Like, where if we are not doing any deployment frequently, then we won't understand what kind of issues we have in the deployment environment. So at the end, if we're trying to deploy the complete bulk product, so it will give us a setback. Will not be happy with us, or our product might get delayed to the market. So some in that time, some other companies or other products may take over the market. So this is all about business. So you need to be very fast in today's competitive world. Now, when it comes to the terms of a product or a service, you are providing a service, similar service others are also providing. So your service should hit the market very fast without any flaw. So how you can do it? If you are doing all the process continuously every day till to the end of the deployment also. So that's why we come up with the solution for DevOps. So development will go on, testing will also go on, and the deployment will also go on the same day or same time, so that you will be understanding where we are failing, and on the same time we can fix it. And at the end of the delivery time or at the end of the product delivery time, what they have set it up, your business team or the client, so you can deliver prior to that, or at least on that day you can deliver a good product. It should not give any issue. So that's what is the aim. So developer starts working with the operation people to do that one. So according to Wikipedia, DevOps is a portmanteau of development and operation. What's portmanteau? It's a big bag, big traveler's bag, where you can add both Both there is you can go and Google this term. It's meaning like it's a big bag where you can separate it into a two similar side where you can have a whole lot of stuff. It's a part of, according to Wikipedia, DevOps is a combination of development and operations. It's a concept dealing with other things like software development, operations, services. It emphasizes communication, collaboration, integration between software developers and information technology operations personnel. So same thing what we have discussed. Development people, that means developers are there, testers are there, and they have done something and it should be deployed immediately to see any operation or any operational issue or any deployment issue at the operation side so that we can fix that one. So that was the first step. Then DevOps tools helped us in many ways to minimize all this stuff, and we come up with a lot of other tools and management skills. So anyway, let's go ahead. So reason to learn DevOps or reason to know DevOps. What are some technical benefits? Continuous software delivery. As a part of a software team or delivery team, you can think continuously you can deliver software. Each day you can deliver your changes. Less complex problems to fix. As you are delivering a piece of your changes regular basis, so you will get a small problem each time so that you can fix it very easily. As it's a bunch of issues, then to track it down and to solve it, it will definitely take some time. If it's the small issues or chunks of issues, then you can immediately fix it and give it back. So that's the technical benefit. Faster resolution to the problems. Any other problems are happening, you can resolve it very fast. And what's the business benefit? Definitely why we all are doing, we want more business, more money out of our product or out of our service. So faster delivery of the feature. Same thing, Amazon is delivering some feature and eBay is delivering some feature, same feature. So who will hit the market first? They will get more customers. That's the main aim. So that's why faster delivery. Who will do this one? If we have more DevOps guys who is much more into this DevOps kind of tools, they can deliver our product very quickly and we can gain much more customers, more clients, and more money. More stable operating environment. More stable operating environment means at the end you have developed your product in your laptop, you have done all, but where it actually will be deployed, some operation environment or some server end. So there it should be deployed properly and more stable. Your operating environment will be more stabilized. And the last but not the least, the time, more time available to add value rather than fix and maintain. More time available. If you are developing or you are delivering a product in this DevOps model, then more time is available to add more and more features to it. And definitely, as less time you are delivering a good product to the market, it's a business benefit and obviously a financial spike to the company. That's why we should be into the DevOps, because companies needs the DevOps guys. Why? Their business will be benefited out of it because they can deliver the product or the services before, on or before time with a high quality. That's what today's industry wants. Anyway, so some there is some difference between or some communication gap between dev and ops people. Dev wants something, ops want something. Dev wants frequent changes. As a coder, and my personal experience as a coder, I want to add some features regular basis. But ops team, they don't want new features regularly. They want some time to give a new feature or to deploy new feature. They want stability. So that need frequent changes to be delivered from the dev side. Always ready to deliver, build for deployment with regular changes. Because it's not a single person who is doing the changes. Multiple, lot of people are there in development team. If it's a large project, we may have 20, 30 or hundreds of developers. So it's not like from developer one, we are having all the changes. Developer two might have, developer 10 might have some changes. So regularly, development team has some changes, definitely regular basis. But ops people need stability at the deployment side. They cannot deploy regularly, otherwise their operating environment or the production environment will be volatile. They cannot manage. Then not ready to change production system frequently. They are not ready. They want stable product. As developer changes frequently, product might get delayed or might get some error. So if they are going to deploy the same product into the production environment, So it will be business setback for the company. So they don't want that one. Or the complete blame will come to the operation team. So they don't want. So what's the solution? Obviously, this continuous activity. Some part we have developed, that part will go to testing, that part will go to the deployment. So everyone will be in the sync. So how it's being managed in the DevOps process, and what DevOps process does internally, it manages some tools, and those tools manages all these processes. Anyway, so is DevOps a solution? Yes, obvious. DevOps links software development to operation. It also bridges the gap between agile software development and operations experience. In case of agile, if you have ever worked, so agile only tends to dev people along with the test people. It never approached the operation guys. So agile was very successful, still also it's successful. But when it comes to the high market or high availability of the product or higher side deployment of your product to the market, if it's a very competitive environment, there agile fails because we are not including the operation process into our dev process. Anyway, coming to the third point, all experts have at least a basic understanding of other business subjects. Whoever are working in case of DevOps environment, we are calling them as the experts because we all are having understanding of all the parts. It's not like I'm doing coding, I should have very depth understanding of writing a script in the Python and then deploying it into the production server. No, but overall process, I will be having the knowledge. Then DevOps is not a methodology or a framework, but it's a set of principles to break down the silos. Set of principles. Some principles are there. We are just separated. We just separated. We got some task. We thought that this is development task. This is the testing task. Let's separate them all. What are the processes we are doing repetitively, iteratively, regular basis. So those things should be automated by help of some tools. So anyway, we'll be seeing what is the process and what are the tools we are going to use and some interfaces definitely. So specifically, DevOps is all about culture, automation, measurement, and sharing. So anyway, DevOps manages our day-to-day continuous performing tasks into continuous SDLC by help of tools. How DevOps does it? With help of tools. Some tools are there. For business people, we are having some tools. For development people, we are having some tool. Test people, we are having some tool. And operation people, monitoring people who are doing deployment. For all of us, we are having some tools. Those tools will be interrelated with each other so that we can perform this continuous activity properly and our product can be delivered on or before time with a high quality. So let's see what is continuity. As I said, there is some continuity. Each day we are performing some iterative tasks. So what are those iterative tasks? Let's understand. So DevOps, it runs with develop. You can see from here, from the top, develop, then test, then provision. Testing is done, then provisioning. Provisioning means what are the configurations we should have. All those things are there. Then configure accordingly. Configure the machines or production side machine or UAT side machines accordingly. Then deploy our product. Once deployment, then monitor. Monitor means it's a kind of your performance monitoring, your application monitoring. We'll get some feedback in terms of performance, in terms of new features or whatever features we may need. So we'll get some feedback. Again, it will go to the development team. So what, it's a continuous. It's not like it's not a single day thing. Every day we do the, not every day. In some interval, we are doing same thing. So it's an iterative work. So that's called, you can see here, continuous integration, cloud provisioning, configuration management, continuous deployment, continuous monitoring, continuous feedback. It goes on continuous basis. Each day we are doing the same kind of task or same kind of things are happening. If you can closely understand or you go and think whatever you are doing and just think from the beginning of this year or last year, you may find that whatever you are doing, it's a continuous kind of task. You are going every day writing a script and the same script you are running every day. So let's make it some automated automation or put it into some tool so that they will do that. So you don't have to waste your 2 hours of time daily. You will be getting those 2 hours so that you can involve in some other things. So that continuous work, what you are doing, repetitive work, that work has to be taken care by the DevOps environment. Anyway, DevOps is a combination of development process and operation process. Obviously, test is there. Dev means dev plus test. So development, testing, and operation process both are combined. Whatever process we are doing regular basis or iterative or frequently we are doing, everything will be included here. So that's called continuous. That's why continuous integration, continuous configuration management, continuous delivery or deployment, continuous monitoring, and then the continuous feedback. So anyway, so let's separate it as per the SDLC. Let's come up with, as I said, the processes we have derived from it, like continuous development, testing, integration. So what are the phases? So here, this kind of diagram you can find in the internet and pretty good. So here is a business planning and coding. So we are mentioning it as a continuous development. Continuous development means we are planning something, then we are coding. Then some plans are then there and we have to code accordingly. Once everything is done, coding is done, then we should go for the test. And here testing, what we are doing, we are building our code. Building means your raw English lines that won't be running in your environment. Those needs to be understandable by your processor. So that's why you need to build your code as per your processor or computer understandable language. That's called building. So that build process will be there. Then the test. Once build is done, you need to test. Whatever functionalities you have been given, that needs to be tested. So this is the part of this left side is a part of dev side where dev and test both are being done. That's called continuous development and continuous testing. Then this part will, or once testing is done, successfully completed, your source code should go for the deployment, right? So how it will go? Some tool are there which will take your build or take your release to the deployment side. That's called integration. This is a pretty interesting and most useful process or useful phase of your continuous environment or the DevOps environment. So where it says that it will the test the releasing project or the release what come after test or the package what we have created during the build phase which is tested successfully, it will go to the deployment phase. And deployment, it's a continuous deployment. Why continuous? Continuously we are deploying. We are not deploying in a single time. As I have already said, DevOps means each day, or we have splitted the complete requirement into small requirements. Each requirement will be developed, tested, then it will go for the deployment. So that's it. So here it's a continuous deployment. It will do deployment, operate it, start, process it, then it will go for the continuous monitoring. Every day we are monitoring. That's the continuous monitoring phase. So once you are getting monitoring, then you will get some feedback or something will be there. It will again be connected through this integration to the business planning or to the development phase. So this is how the complete thing is. Means you have planned something, coded something, then you got the build or package out of your source code, then it is being tested. Now it's going to the deployment. It's going through integration. So continuous integration is the middle phase. So it's going here. Yeah, Iman, say any queries, any confusion here?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to know, so there is a particular team which is dedicatedly working for monitoring of this particular things?
No, actually, we were having Nagios tool, lot of other tools. It's Nagios is not a new tool; it's a old tool. Already, we were doing the monitoring through the Nagios environment. So those environments were not into the single platform; they were scattered. So in DevOps, some new tools come up, and some old tools are also being integrated with the environment. So now, I can, as I said, Nagios was an old tool where we are monitoring. I worked on the 2010. That time also I used Nagios, but that time DevOps was not there. DevOps was there, but it was not into the market that much how it is now. So Nagios tool was there, but we are now using Nagios as part of our DevOps. So that tool is being integrated with our some continuous integration tool, and then we are getting all the feedback. So continuously they have come up with the solution. Earlier it was no one. It's not like much before people are used to monitor, take the loss and doing, but Nagios come up long back and they took all those things. That automation come up earlier. It's not a new thing now.
Okay, so may I just know the spelling of the tool?
Yes, Nagios, N-A, I am giving it there.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you, Piyush.
Okay, welcome. So here you can see the continuous monitoring as we have went through this diagram. One integration phase is there, continuous integration. That's the middle phase which holds or which integrates all other environments. So let's go ahead and see what are the tools. Lot of tools are there. If you want to see what tools are available for DevOps, you can go and type it into the Google like DevOps periodic tools periodic table. So there we will find lot of tools. It's not like all the tools you have to use. You have to choose as per your environment and what is the best suitable tool and user friendly tools. You will find lot of automated tools, and the best part of DevOps tools are the market leader tools. They are mostly open source and free. So that's why DevOps took the market very fast, because most of the tools we are using, they're free and open source. You can take it and use it freely. And if you want to modify something, you can modify the source code of that tool also. So anyway, here you can see from the coding phase, this kind of diagram you might have seen if you ever went and follow like DevOps images or DevOps architecture images in Google. You can find this image. Why this is the infinity symbol. It's continuous process. It's going continuously. There is no stop for the development, no stop for your testing, no stop for your deployment. So anytime some improvement is always there. If improvement is always there, then it's infinity. So that's why this is the continuous symbol, infinity symbol. Anyway, let's go to the business planning phase, coding phase. If you're going to the coding phase, here you can see Confluence, Jira, Git. This comes with the planning phase also. You are having, if you have ever used Confluence or Jira, you might have known, or this is what I'm saying. We are having Confluence where we are creating all the business requirements. Jira is there where we are managing all the development related tasks, and Git is there. Git, some other tools are also there where we manages our source code. What is source code? The development people, what they are writing, that is called source code. So we need to manage each day we are doing some development, or frequently we are doing some changes. Those changes should be stored somewhere with the proper history. So those are called source code management tools. So Git is there, SVM, lot of other tools are there. So next it's going to the build environment. If we are using Java, then we are having Maven as a tool. We may use Gradle as a tool. So those tools are there. Anyway, if we are going to the test environments, then we are having Selenium tool, JUnit. What is JUnit? JUnit is a unit testing tool. Then it comes to the middle one. Here you can see this one. Code, Sieve, Jenkins are there. Jenkins is a world's #1 tool for continuous integration phase. No doubt, Jenkins has a lot of features, lot of plugins, and very user-friendly tool. So this is the tool which holds all other processes, who integrates all other tools. It's not like only one tool is there, but this is the best tool in the market. So similarly, it will go for the next deployment phase. As I have said, deployment and operation side, you are having Docker. What I said, like I am currently into the AWS process. I am creating the images and pushing it to the cloud services. So that's what it is. Deployment, Docker is there. AWS, who manages the deployment, then operation, where we can actually deploy and run our application. So inside AWS, we're having Kubernetes, which actually runs the Docker images. Similarly, if we are having physical servers in our offices, then we may use Ansible, Chef, or Puppet is there. There is some space constraint over here, so I have not given that one. So Puppet is there also, where how we can manage our configuration. So if you have any confusion, like, so before deploying our project to the environment, to some UAT environment or some production environment, we have to configure. We have to configure the server, like what softwares are needed, what kind of infrastructure should be there. First is the physical infrastructure. That's not a part of the SDLC. That's obviously a part of the infrastructure team, who will create the system and give that system to us. But once that system is with us, then we need to create environment for this for our application. Like if I am having Java application, I should have Java installed over there. If I'm dependent on Python application, or I have written Python code, so Python should be installed. Some version of Python should be there in my production server or into the UAT server. So who will do the configuration? It's a manual process, obviously. So continuously doing the same thing is a boring job and it's a time taking job. So it's not like we are only having one server. We're having thousands of servers or thousands of racks will be there, and those racks will be holding lot of servers. Racks means physical. If you have ever went to the data center or something, like some physical shelves will be there. In that shelf will be having the server. That is called rack. So inside rack will be having multiple servers. To deploy or to install your software on thousand number of servers, and that to be in an iterative manner, really a business setback. So that's what we don't want. And who will be doing all those configurations? This Chef and Ansible, they will be doing for us. And Puppet, those tools are there, they will be managing all those things. If you are not using your physical server, you are using cloud-based system. So AWS, Google Cloud, they will manage all this job. You don't have to worry regarding that one. So anyway, once deployment is done, application is running, then what's the next? Monitoring. Obviously, Nagios is there. Here, this tool I have given. Splunk is there. So those tools we'll be using and we'll get some feedback. Then again, it will go to the planning phase. So these are the tools. Whatever tools, don't think that these are the only tools present for the DevOps. As I said, you can go and Google DevOps tools predictable. You will find hundreds of tools. But what are the market's best tool or user-friendly tools, open source, free, user-friendly, and best? Those tools are being listed over here. So anyway, you might have been working on some different tool. I'm not saying that's not good. So whatever tools are available in the market, those can automate the process between your development, operations, and test. Those are the part of your DevOps tool set. Anyway, and how to choose? Hello. Hello. Any queries, Prof? Are you there? Okay. So miscommunication. So next question is like how to choose all these from all these tools, which tool we should choose. It depends upon our configuration, or it depends upon our project deliveries, what kind of environment we want, and what kind of production system we are having. That time we need to decide. It's not like low level design. Whenever our project is been designed at the higher side, higher technical management, they are designing our project. They will be deciding what kind of tools we have to use, and whether our team or teammates are having that tool knowledge. If we are going to provide lot of new tools, then we cannot manage. One or two new tools, then we can manage. So accordingly, we have to think and we have to provide all these tools. So anyway, let's see what we'll discuss. We'll be discussing continuous development tools, continuous testing tool, integration, deployment tool, containerization tool, monitoring tools. So let's see. Tools for the continuous development. We will see some interfaces. We'll definitely see. It's not only with this theoretical. We'll see some interfaces and how we are working there. At least some dummy part we will see. So here in the continuous development, we have already seen. Let's go back to the diagram. Here it's a planning and coding phase. So let's see what are the tools. Here it is planning and coding. So a lot of other tools you might have seen. Bugzilla, if you have ever worked on the Bugzilla earlier time. Now I have not seen Bugzilla from 2-3 years, but earlier I have also worked on the Bugzilla tool. So Bugzilla tool was there. So now Confluence, Jira. So what is a Confluence? Those are business planning and your task management tool. Confluence is your business management tool, and your Jira is your task management tool. Anyway, next is your coding. So coding phase IDs as per the language. I have given here Eclipse. Eclipse you can manage Python, Java, lot of things you can manage. And if you're writing your .NET code, you can go with your VS Code thing also. So that is different. So similarly, to manage your code, you might have to use Git, SVN, Mercurial. You may have to use this one, Bitbucket, GitHub, GitLab. So what are all these things? Source code management. As I said, you have written some code. That code needs to be saved somewhere with some history option. So there we have to use this kind of thing. Anyway, let's see. So those are the tools. Pretty first we are going, but those are the small tools, not small set of tools. Set of tools we are using, and other tools are also there. So as per the coding ID, we have to choose anything as per our language, and this one Git, SVN, Mercurial, CVS, anything other. These are called VCS, version control system or source code management system. So we are choosing now Git, or in some days we are planning, or some months we are planning to move it to AWS also, because in cloud services we are also having some code management or source code management tool also. Anyway, so source code management tool is also part of coding. So there you have to choose whether you have to go with SVN or Git as per your understanding. There you have to go. So then tools for continuous testing. Once development is done, we need to test. So automation testing is the answer to a lot of cries to the manual tester. You are writing regularly same thing, same test cases you are writing for the product, and again you are testing. So that's really a headache. So tools in this area, you can choose as per the language also. Here also, depending upon the language, you have to choose your source code. So choose your automation testing tool. So Selenium, TestNG, JUnit, NUnit for your NUnit is there for Visual.NET codes. Lot more are there. But here, in case of testing, what is the difference? Here you need to test, then you have to generate a report. So reporting tool and your testing tool, both are the part of the DevOps cycle. So here Selenium is there and TestNG. Selenium will test your functionality and TestNG will give you the result. So we'll see Selenium and TestNG as part of our course. So this is Selenium without TestNG is equivalent to a how many test scenarios you have failed. So that should be there. So that's called it's a combination of testing tool and the reporting tool at the same time. Selenium does the automation testing. Reports are generated by the TestNG. So it's not like that you have to always go with the Selenium and TestNG. As per your language, you can choose your test environment or test coding. So anyway, let's go and we'll see. So what's the next? It's a continuous integration. So we have went through continuous development. Let's go back and see continuous development, planning and coding. Planning we are having Confluence, Jira. Coding we are having IDE, then some uh, source code management tool like Bitbucket. Bitbucket is the server of the Git. We are having Git, Tortoise, SVN, IDs like Eclipse. Then here testing, we should have one test automation. So there we should have testing automation script along with the reporting tool. Both should be there. So next, continuous integration. It's the middle phase, continuous integration. So what are the tools available? Jenkins, Bamboo, TeamCity, lot of tools are available. But undisputedly, the most popular CI tool in the market is Jenkins. So Jenkins are there. Jenkins is the most popular because it has a lot of flexibility, free, open source, lot of plugins will be there. So that's why Jenkins is the market's best tool for continuous integration. Similarly, next is the deployment. Integration testing done, development is done, testing is done, successful. Then we need to integrate our application or our build to the deployment environment. So two types of deployment. One is the configuration managed deployment, another is the containerization tool or containerization deployment. So now configuration managed tools, Puppet, Chef, Ansible, SaltStack. So here, as I said, if we are having physical server, we are managing the physical server, then we have to choose this configuration managed tool. So we need to choose either Puppet or Chef or Ansible, depending upon our knowledge. Everyone is up to par. They are proper tools, and it's not like you cannot say Puppet is much more better than Ansible. No, it's not like that. It's up to your knowledge, what you want to use, what you don't want to use. Anyway, some configuration is different, definitely. Writing in case of Chef, you need to know to write your cookbooks and also in some language. But in case of Puppet, you are writing the configurations. In case of Ansible, you are writing the playbook. So here somewhere it's a pull kind of configuration, somewhere it's a push configuration. Some changes are definitely there. Puppet, let me say some brief thing over here. In case of Puppet, you need to have a Puppet master server. Along with that, Puppet clients needs to be installed all other machines where I need to deploy my application or where I need to manage my application. But in case of Ansible, you should have only an Ansible server or Ansible managed controller area. You don't have installed any clients into the host machine. So it's pretty simple in case of Ansible, but in case of Puppet, your clients are pulling the configuration periodically. That's the client configuration pulling. But in case of Ansible, you have to push the configuration to all other hosts. Some difference is there. It depends upon the requirement and depends the knowledge on the tool. You have to choose which tool you have to go. Similarly, we are having containerization tool. What is a containerization? It's another concept. Another concept means you have to go like you have to create images. Your images needs to be deployed somewhere. So on top of that, we have to decide. So there we are having Docker containers, Kubernetes, AWS ECS. Here Azure is also there. Like AWS, we're having Azure. Google Cloud is also there. A lot of things are available. But market leaders now are Docker containers, Kubernetes. In Kubernetes can run inside your AWS ECS, inside Google Cloud also. So this is the different way of deploying your application. You don't have to worry about the server, spaces, everything. You need to configure it and then use your application. That's pretty good. Next, for monitoring. Everything done. Next is the monitoring. A lot of monitoring tools are available nowadays. Splunk, ELK Stack, Nagios, Sensu, New Relic. So people were using Nagios. So now people are moving towards Splunk, ELK Stack also. ELK, Elasticsearch, Logstash, Kibana. So here, what actually means the monitoring? You will be getting logs from everything, from your network, from your application, from all the resources, everywhere. You will get logs. So you want to see all those logs. When your application will run, it will impact your processor. It will impact your RAM everywhere. So from there, you need to get all the logs. You need to manage all the logs, monitor all the logs, and then you need to decide. So who all are providing this kind of operation or this kind of facility? Nagios was already there. Now ELK in market, people are going with ELK also. It has lot more good UI, pretty good UI to analyze the logs, index the logs, everything. So ELK has those parts. Splunk is another tool. So those tools, most of the tools are free. You have to download it, install it, configure it, and see it. So this is the part of pretty good part of your monitoring tool. Next, so this is all about our DevOps. What is a DevOps cycle? Development people, test people, operation people, dev process, test process, and operation process all are combined. Regularly we are doing same task. Some of the tasks we are doing regularly. Those regular doing tasks or continuous doing tasks are being automated through some automation tools. It does not mean that development people has to go and write your deployment script. No. Or deployment people has to come and or write your Java code or Python code for development. They have to work on their expertise in area, but they have to have the knowledge regarding the complete business process. They have to know the task they are doing regular basis, how to automate that task. That tool they have to know, and accordingly they have to know all other tools also. So how the complete process is being managed till the end of deployment. So let's see about some tools I have noted down. So let's see Git environment, Bitbucket, Jenkins, Maven, Docker, and AWS. So I have installed to get into the Git environment. You need to know about how you will run Git. Git is the source code management tool. I have already told. So for that you need to install Git Bash. So what I need to install? Let's see. Git Bash. No, I will write it over here. You need to install Git in your system. For Windows, it's Git Bash. For others, in Mac, in your Linux system, you can directly download the packages of your Git and you can install it. So anyway, you need to install Git. For my Windows, I have installed Git Bash. So Git Bash is there. So I have installed. Once I have installed, I will get this kind of environment. So this is Git. Let's see what is the version. I have already installed. Git version is there. So once you are into Git, you have Git related projects. So this kind of folders you will get. Means if you're creating any folders and Git repositories, you will get a .git folder over there. So let's go some projects. So here, let's see. So you can see this kind of thing. What kind of Git branches we are using. Don't go much details. Just like Git version I have shown you. So like Git status, some commands are there. So like this, once you are installed with Git, you will be into this kind of Git environment, and you can start using Git commands. So that's our aim, and you have to manage. So Git, this is the local thing. So if I want to Git servers, use Git servers, multiple options are there: Bitbucket, GitHub, GitLab, multiple servers who actually holds the Git thing or Git server managed thing. So this is a Bitbucket where you can find a lot of things here. Your repositories are there. It looks like this one. So Bitbucket is a cloud thing. You can create free Bitbucket account where up to 5 users you can manage, or if you want to add more and more users, you have to pay $2 per user, very less amount per user, and you can manage lot of tasks over here. So this is how it looks like. It will go here. You can find your name, your team's name, your project details. You can see here a lot of project details are over here. So this is how Bitbucket looks like. So now let's see Jenkins. I have already said this is the most powerful tool which holds all other environments. So how to see? I have already installed Jenkins in my system. You can install, and the default port is 8080 for my Jenkins. Similarly, you can download and install Jenkins in any other server location also. So you have to go through that Jenkins installation phase. You have to install, manage the users, and you will find this kind of stuff over here. Jenkins jobs are there, Jenkins items are there. Next, you can go to any Jenkins item, configure. Pretty simple to configure any job over here. So Jenkins, you can configure a lot more things. This is how Jenkins look like. This is overall how it looks like. That's what I'm showing you. So same time, Jenkins Maven. So what is a Maven? A build tool. Already you have seen Maven is a build tool. Then how to work and not how to work. If I'm using Maven, how I will know that I'm using Maven? Let's see. I'm going here. Let's go to one project. So if I'm using Maven, you must be having a POM XML inside your project. So Maven will run on the POM XML. And what's the command? You can go to your command prompt here. So here you can see mbn version. Yes, it's showing mbn is installed. So I can use multiple mbn commands. So I have already installed. You have to install your Maven. You have to give all the Maven path to your environment path. Then you can start using your Maven. This is a build tool, and definitely you need to have a POM XML to start with Maven. So same time, let's see Docker. Docker is a part of our containerized deployment. So you need to install Docker. In your system also, you need to have Docker. Then only you can start using your Docker images. So how to start? I have already installed. You have to go. You can install as per your operating system. You can install Docker. So now let's see. I have to start. It will take some time. Docker requires VirtualBox. So you need to install VirtualBox on your system. When you will go through the sessions, you will be finding that what is virtualization, how to start it. This is pretty simple. Whatever we are using, this is the label of understanding what are the tools, how to start it, and what it looks like actually. So DevOps is having some tools. It's a stack of some tools what we should learn so that we can be a part of such team where productivity is higher and business gain is much higher, because it will manage all these continuous things with the small chunks of requirement, and we can deliver our product much before other team or other providers. But you can find like every company is now moving towards DevOps, so they want DevOps professionals who are holding the good knowledge of DevOps tools, and they can come up with a good DevOps solution. So we'll wait for some time to start a Docker. It's waiting and creating. It's actually starting internally my virtual box, and then it will start. It will show me some terminals. Then I can go with some Docker commands, one or two Docker commands you will see. So by that time, what's other thing we can see? AWS. I have already having the AWS account. This is the AWS management account. You can create your own account. It needs your credit card details to come up with your AWS account. So now you can see here lot of options are there, and what are the services. lot of services are being provided here. So as I said, I can create virtual machines here, lot of services I can create over here. Now you can see, let's wait for some time, it will show us. Already I have some, my one virtual machine. It's not running, but I have that one. So now let's see. You can see I have one instance over here which I have stopped. I can start it. So internally AWS provides a lot of solutions. So as I said, we can send our images or containerized image to our AWS management area, and we can start our application over there. So that's how we are managing. Not how we are managing. That is the overall page of AWS. You can get into any other services and you can start create any services. So let's see. Yes, Docker has been started. Once Docker will start, it will give you this kind of image with some IP. So if I want to see Docker-v, let's see, this is a Docker command. It's pretty slow. So multiple commands are here. You can see Docker version 18.02. I can do another 1-2 command, Docker images. No images are there. Docker image is not there, so obviously no process will be there. So this is how it's a pretty Docker command, pretty much some small Docker commands, Docker images, Docker processes, other commands are there. So why Docker? Docker means as an image you can see here, we can post our application as an image here, and how we are creating image, everything that you will understand if you'll go and dig it up, and if you come up and we can work together and we can see what is the image, how we are managing all those things. And these are the part of DevOps actually. These tools, they help us in large scale to manage lot of times. So this is what all, not all the tools, at least some of the tools, how it look like, how to start. You have to download it, store it. Some of the tools you need to start it on the virtual boxes. Like I don't have Puppet installed on my machine. I have to install Puppet on the virtual boxes. So there you can install and see the managed services. So anyway, so this is it. So any queries, any confusion to till this point, Iman, and any confusion, Ravi?
Oh, not yet.
Okay, thanks. Ravi, are you there?
It's clear, bro. It's clear.
Yeah, Anbu, you are saying something?
Yeah. I got it.
Okay. Uh, thanks, Anbu. So Ravi, are you there? Let me check with him. Okay, I guess he left the conversation. So if you don't have any queries or any questions, we can sum up the session here. So thanks all for joining. Yeah, bye bye.